Weekly Bullshit Podcast.
Welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the relationships between science and engineering.
Science and engineering.
Yeah, the differences between those two. What's the relationship? How do they affect each other? And essentially, what's better?
What's better?
Yeah.
So you're gonna value the two.
I think it's a stupid question. I'm gonna make sure of that. But a lot of people ask the question, especially the high school students who are just getting into college.
Mm-hmm.
They ask, "What's better for me?"
So you're gonna support them?
No, I'm not gonna support any of them. But
in deciding what they're gonna choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhat. Yeah. So, what do you think the differences between science and engineering are? You have, as far as I know, your sister is a physicist.
Yeah,
so you
physicist,
must have some information at least.
First of all,
Yeah.
I have no idea about the two fields because I'm a fucking the humanities and business major. So
Yeah.
I don't know about the two fields. I actually doesn't know. I didn't know what they gonna talk about and what field the two kind of what they do. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know about the difference, but I think the science is about more theoretical,
Yes.
and they want to try to find out the rule of the nature.
Mhm.
But the engineering is kind of practical issue.
Yeah.
So engineering is some kind of exploitation of science.
Exploitation of science.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right?
I mean, the definition could differ depending on who defined those words,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, just like anything else. But I think the relationship between they overlap with each other.
Overlap.
I think your perception about engineering and science is pretty correct in a conventional sense.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists, they want to discover about the rules of the universe. Their role is to basically understand the question, and the role of the engineers is to solve the question.
Solve the question.
I mean, some people might not agree with what I'm saying right now, but
Mhm.
that's like the most common perception about those fields. But it's not a night and day concept at all. They overlap with each other, as I've said, and they have more complicated relationship than many people think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to explain about that. So the reason why I chose this topic today is because recently I watched sci-fi movie called
Sci-fi movie.
Project Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. I watched it before.
Yeah. How'd you like it?
I like the music.
The music?
Yeah.
That's the only thing you remember? Not about the story?
Story is kind of the typical sci-fi
Oh, really?
movies. Like, as you know, The Martian
Mm-hmm.
and Interstellar,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of the universal thing.
Yeah. I mean, the story itself was pretty typical because the theme is a typical sci-fi.
Yeah, living alone
Yeah.
on the dark.
But the way they pictured certain situations, like the encounterings of an alien and a human, it was very emotional. And although I'm a very
there is a kind of interaction between the human and other species.
Yeah, exactly. That was very touching. I'm not a crybaby, but I almost cried watching that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, although I really like this movie, there are a couple of things that I don't like.
Don't like it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
especially
What's that?
like how they pictured what scientists and engineers look like in real life.
So in my as I remember the main character of the movie is a science teacher.
He's a molecular biologist.
Molecular
I
biologist
think. Yeah.
teacher in high school.
Biochemist. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not engineer.
He's not an engineer. And
That's why you want to say that's your point.
No, that's not my So in the first of all, he's a biologist or a chemist or whatever, but he knows how to solve the distance and time required to reach certain planets and everything. That's the role of the physicist, and modern science is highly like specialized. So people who are specializing in certain topics only know about the topic. They are not like, they're pretty much ignorant about what's going on in the other side of the field. And that's the first thing that I didn't like. And like any other like popular sci-fi movies and novels of modern time, they picture scientists as those geniuses who are stuck in their room, always like solving questions with pen and paper. And engineers are always like crafting things, creating new things, robots, cars, tanks, weapons, things like that. And that's very inaccurate, and I want to make sure that those are inaccurate throughout this
stereotyping.
Episode. Yes. Yeah. And the alien, I don't remember his name. The Rocky. Rocky is an engineer in the movie.
Yeah, Rocky is an engineer.
He creates
alien.
Yeah, he creates a lot of like useful things using
tools.
He uses certain elements. Xenon.
Xenon, yeah.
Yeah, a solid xenon. I think that's a little bit inaccurate scientifically as well, but whatever. Let's skip. That's not the point here. So, the Dr. Grace, the protagonist, he says, Rocky seems to be an engineer because he's always crafting things. Engineers are not always like they solve problems using science, but they're not always
making something.
Yeah, that is. I think Rocky in the scene is closer to the description of a technician.
Technician.
Or a mechanic. But
engineer.
Yeah. So just that's why I chose this topic today to talk about the inaccuracy of the descriptions and portrayals of engineers and scientists in movies and novels. So let's first talk about before we like dive deeper into the relationships between those two. Let's first talk about what comes first, engineering or science.
It's like chicken or egg.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think engineering comes first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they just wanna I think for human species, they're making something, and to bring out some solution is the object of for their survival. So I think they should make a solution like making a spear or knife. And that comes first, and they finally get to some rules of the nature, because when they make a spear, they want to crush the rock and scrubbing the rocks and whatever. So in kind of a lot of the mechanisms, they grasp the common sense in the whole nature. So they're gonna be the science. So they just wanna try out to make something, and in the process
they develop science.
Yes.
Well, I like your idea, but that's actually very uncommon among because most people think science gave birth to engineering, because engineers use science in everyday work, whereas scientists, although they do use engineering to conduct experiments and stuff, but it's not strictly necessary. I mean, you can never do engineering job without using science, but scientists, they can solve equations with using just pen and paper. So people think that engineering comes later than science.
Yeah, in common sense.
Yeah, but as you said, some people might argue otherwise, because while it's true that engineers use science when they're creating things, scientific discoveries are often triggered by engineering needs, as you said. For example, let's think about it. The first example that I can think of is at CERN. Have you heard of CERN? It's an institution of particle physics in Europe, CERN.
I don't know.
Particle accelerator.
I get it.
Yeah. Well, physicists can only conduct those experiments at cutting edge science only because engineers have facilitated those technologies with which they can conduct the experiment. So the particle accelerators, well, although their concepts are based on scientific theories, engineers have enabled those technologies in real life. So without the technologies, they would not have been able to enhance the border of science, of modern science. And second of all, a lot of like pure scientific theories are born out of real life situations. For one of the most clear example is thermodynamics and steam engines. You know what steam engine is?
Steam engines?
Yeah.
Like the train.
Yeah, like
the coal.
Yeah. Have you heard of James Watt?
James Watt.
Yeah, he's a British physicist.
Mr. Watt. Yeah.
When you heat up a water, it expands and evaporates. And then the evaporated gas takes much bigger volume than the liquid. So they push the piston.
Yeah, it can be the energy for the train.
So you're transforming a chemical energy to heat energy, and the heat energy to kinetic energy. And so the steam engines were because you don't necessarily need to know cutting edge physics in order to build a steam engine. You can just build it with using common sense. And they built it, and they created trains and a lot of factories and everything.
Yes.
And but then they wanted to maximize the efficiency of those engines, and sometimes their performance is not the best. And why is it not the best? They wanted to know. Engineers wanted to know. So the physics stepped in, and they tried to figure out what's the problem. What is causing the efficiency to go down, and through those processes, thermodynamics. Have you heard of thermodynamics?
Okay.
Yeah, thermodynamics
but
is.
I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
About so you say like engineers use the physics.
Yeah.
But the subject is engineers.
Yeah.
Not a scientist.
Scientists use engineering to conduct experiments.
Like the particle
accelerator. That was just one example, but yeah.
Got it.
So steam engines. Engineers built the steam engines, and in order to, they wanted to increase the efficiency of the engines, and through the process of increasing the efficiency, very important physics concepts have emerged, such as thermodynamics. So what I'm trying to argue here is that it doesn't just go one direction. They influence each other simultaneously. So we can't just simply argue that one is born before the other.
They can evolve together
because both inspire each other. Maybe I'm saying this just because I'm an engineer, and but some physicists might, or especially mathematicians. Mathematicians will disagree with this. A lot of mathematicians I know, they strongly believe that mathematical concepts should not be affected by our real life experiences.
It is just abstract, and
the
real life is just secondary principle.
Yeah,
using the mathematical concepts.
Yeah. But physics. When we're particularly talking about physics and engineering, then they both affect each other. They both inspire each other, and historically they have facilitated each other's advancements. And are you with me so far?
But I think there's some difference between the influencing ways of the two disciplines.
Yeah.
Yep. I think some engineering is can influence the science as a like a, just as a tool, because it can make it easier to find out the rule.
I explained two ways that engineering inspire the advancement of physics. One is what you just said, as a tool. And secondly, engineering needs give birth to physics discovery, discovery of physics.
They give some topics, what physics wanna. Okay,
Yeah.
but I think the physics influence the engineering like logically, so it is not a inspiring. It just give the basis and hypothesis for engineering.
You're saying physics does not inspire engineering, whereas engineering does inspire physics?
Yes.
I
think
that's a good question.
The first one is like a logical
basis.
Basement as for the engineering. It is not give some tools and.
But physics is a tool to experiments. Like when you're building a bridge, let's just think of an example of building a bridge.
So what I want to mean is the engineering necessarily need the science, whereas the science does not.
But like, okay, I'll explain that.
Okay.
So, physics. What do you think is physics based upon?
Based upon.
Axioms, theorems, axioms.
Yes.
And those theorems and axioms, they're closely related to our experiences. Like Newton's second law, it's one of the most fundamental theorem in physics. So when you push an object, it pushes you as well, in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know that? Experience. Because whenever you push something, it pushes you back. You experience that. And you can just witness it in everywhere around you. So experience. And how do we... experiences exist in real life, not in some abstract space in our mind. And when... Like, back in the days, in ancient times, those experiences were gathered from just mundane objects or nature. But nowadays, the experience emerges from engineering setups. Like, for example, shooting a rocket into the space or creating an efficient engine. So we experience something in engineering industry, and physicists see that, and they want to find out why it works like that.
But I got a question about that. But in your definition of engineering...
I did not define engineering.
But in the common sense, engineering is kind of practical and solve the problems.
Yeah.
But the engineering setup for the science experience is it's just only for the science.
What do you mean?
So is the engineering only for the science is not I don't think it is the pure engineering.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, the particle accelerator. It is just only for the scientific research.
Yeah.
It is not give some practical use, like it's giving efficiency for industrial.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they affect each other, and sometimes the mechanism of them affecting each other could be different. Like particle accelerator, they mostly do that for the sake of just finding out a scientific fact, but it could be used later on. Who knows? In engineering, and without engineering, they could never have built particle accelerators, and physicists would not have been able to conduct those experiments. So
Yeah.
so without engineering, physicists, experimental physicists particularly, they cannot do any job, and vice versa. So yeah, did you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so
But I have
I
plenty of,
would
yeah.
Let's go on the next one.
I have plenty of other things to talk about, so let's move on to. So this is to further deepen our argument. Let's go back to the history. Let's take a look at the history of science, the developments of science. So in ancient times and up until medieval times, there were no distinguishments, because as you know, a lot of physicists. Oh my God! So a lot of physicists and engineers, they were the same person. Like
Same
for
person,
example, have you heard of Archimedes?
Archimedes.
Yeah, he discovered a concept of buoyancy.
Beyonce.
No, not Beyonce. Buoyancy. It's like when you heat up an object. Air close to the surface is going to be heat up as well. When air is heated up, its density goes down.
Okay.
So it goes up.
Okay.
It floats up because of the gravity, and that's the buoyancy. And
I know the concept.
Yeah. The specific way that Archimedes has discovered the concept of buoyancy is a little bit different from my example, but anyways, he's the guy who first thought of this concepts, and so in that sense, he was a physicist, but at the same time, he was a great engineer. Like the first water pump in the man's history was invented by Archimedes. You know what? Like water pump, it's kind of like a spiral tube, and you spin it, and the water on the lower altitude goes up. So he invented that as well. So he was an engineer and a scientist at the same time. And another person, Galileo, whatever. I always forget about the order. So he was also a brilliant engineer as well as a scientist. So in the ancient time and medieval times, they were not distinguished. But as you approached modern time, we're not at the modern time yet, but as you approach modern time, they begin to go their own way, because the depth of their knowledge is gets deeper. So one person cannot do everything. So, for example, like Edison, he was not a physicist. He's an inventor, he's an engineer in that sense, but he was not a physicist. He never got
some knowledge of
he never
science.
Got education, like an official education in physics or any other physical science.
He just did his experience.
He just did, yeah.
He finally got to know how to bowl.
Yeah. And he also the Wright brothers, the founding fathers of modern airplanes. Yeah, the Wright brothers. They also never got any official education in science. Yeah, aerodynamics or science. And they just built. They started from bicycle mechanics, and then they started building airplanes. And yeah, they're like the greatest engineers of the time, but they were not a scientist. So in modern times, they begin to go their own way. But as they approach like our era, they decide that they eventually begins to merge again.
Merge again?
Yeah. So because
how does it can be?
Well, you know who the recipients of Nobel Prize of Physics are have been like you know who the recipients of Nobel Prize of Physics have been in recent years?
I didn't know.
They're all electrical engineers.
Electrical engineers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about the AI.
No, not that. That's the
Nobel
Prize chemistry.
Yeah.
Chemistry or
is it can be the example what you want to say, the merger of the
yeah. So in modern times, in order to build things, and in order to analyze and maximize the efficiency of our creations, the scientific knowledge is required is so deep. So even an engineer
they connect
delve deeper and deeper into the theories as well. So they overlap with each other. So there's a very little gap between there's almost no distinguishment between applied science and engineering in our area, in my opinion. And the example of Nobel Prize winners in recent years prove my point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're all traditionally educated as an engineer. They started with the bachelor's in electrical engineering, and they received a PhD in electrical engineering. Yet, using quantum science, they made a lot of discoveries in the history of physics. So in modern days, as you can see from this example, there's very little gap. Mm-hmm. And one other example is there's a course, there's a PhD program in one university, University of Illinois. They have this course called Theoretical and Applied Mechanics. It's within the engineering department, but they delve really deep into physics concepts. So they added theoretical mechanics. So our traditional understanding of sorry, let me talk about another example. So in the Department of Physics, even in our university, a lot of physics professors are researching about semiconductors. And the semiconductors, they're primarily doing it for the sake of monetizing it, because Korea is very popular for semiconductor industry.
Yeah.
As you probably have the ETF or something. But, yeah, it's been surging in recent years, and even though they were in the Department of Physics, which is natural science,
mm-hmm.
but they
have some research about.
Yeah, they do those semiconductor researchers. Although they're physicists, what they do is monetizing the scientific
mm-hmm.
theories and technologies. So, whereas in the example of theoretical and applied mechanics people, although they are in the engineering department, they focus more on the abstract and theoretical things. Okay. So they're interchangeable in modern times. So my claim is that we need to change our traditional understanding of what an engineer and scientist
is like the breakdowns.
Yeah. So I just yapped too much today, but that's basically what I wanted to say through this episode.
We can distinguish who is engineer and who is scientist.
We don't need to.
We don't need to.
Well, but we still need to draw a line between theoretical, mathematical, and theoretical physics and other sciences. Mm-hmm. So what's better? That's a stupid question, first of all. And if there's any high school students who are watching this episode,
they as you say, they can choose whatever. So they gotta more together.
But honestly, even though I chose mechanical engineering because, even though I chose it, I think doing physics opens more doors for researchers. If you want to get a job right away out of your undergraduate degree, then probably an engineering degree is better for practical purposes. But if you want to become a researcher, either in engineering or natural science and theoretical physics, then I think having a physics degree would open more opportunities because you have broader and more fundamental knowledge in our
all fields of physics.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But still, just having an undergraduate degree doesn't mean anything. As you know, you did a business.
Yeah,
you did an undergrad in business, but do you know anything about business?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me neither.
So but I got a question about that.
Go on.
It's like, why every university makes some
distinguishment.
Make the two sections very distinguished, like engineering school and the science or like natural science.
Because, I mean, even though that I said there's not a very big difference between applied science,
So
applied physics, and engineering.
So
There is still a difference.
Is it just like an old time legacy?
No, their curriculums are a bit different. Our curriculums are more focused on the applications of physics,
Mm-hmm.
and their curriculums are more focused on figuring out why the rule holds in the why, answering why questions, and but still, what I'm claiming is that yes, of course there are differences between the curriculums, but it doesn't mean that physics major cannot get into engineering, and
so it is like
engineers can
interchangeable.
do like theoretical research as well. Engineers cannot become a theoretical physicist, but they can do applied physics research. I think like business and or finance or marketing or economics, they are kind of have a similar relationship as far as that, because one of my professors majored in
Finance.
no, he majored in economics. Actually.
Okay.
But he set his foot into the finance industry, and some finance or business majors, they also like get into economics academia, right?
Yeah.
By like Pharma French model. Do you know that? Pharma French.
I don't know.
Oh my God! It's it appears in one of the theories regarding CAPM, the pricing of assets.
Okay.
I think the Pharma French model was about the
major business.
No, it's in the domain of within the domain of business and finance, but they won the Nobel Prize of economics. So they're kind of interchangeable, right?
The basic intellect, basic intellect and basic some concept and knowledge is quite same, but I think the objective of the two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our fields are pretty similar.
Yeah. So I have a similar case with the relationship of the engineering and nature science. I have talked about the international law yesterday with the international PhD in the international law. So there is 2 international law major in our university in the law school and in the political science.
Yeah.
So they have same object of their research, the international law, but in the law school we just analyze the international law in the systematic within the law, the rules, and the like a relationship between the domestic law and in the international law, whereas in the political science, international law is the result of negotiation between a lot of countries like UN.
UN is not a country, but
whatever. UN is the result of the
I get what you mean.
The negotiation. So it is I think engineering and science have similar relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
So they have same object with other
science
goal.
Goal?
Yeah.
No, the goals of science and engineering are fundamentally different, I think.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
But
it's same object but other goals.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So I finally.
Yeah, summarize our episode. But before we finish, I know I already talked too much. I think we did more than 30 minutes so far.
Yeah.
But let me.
Certified.
Yeah, let me talk about one more last thing.
Okay.
Can I be honest with you guys? Why I chose this topic today?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who's doing a PhD in chemistry.
Chemistry.
And she keeps like looking down on engineers.
Mm.
You got used to. So like.
You always ask about.
I think she believes that she's just superior just because he's doing a natural sciences, and we engineers are just like servants of natural sciences. I was just kind of angry about it, and I wanted to explain to other people that engineers are not always like not all about just building robots, bridges, and buildings and things like that. We do the theoretical research as well. And to build stuff.
That's the reason why you chose these.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because I was so hurt. Because I have my own pride as an engineer,
Okay.
And I just wanted to fix the misconception about engineers and also scientists.
Mm.
So, but I do think.
Did you satisfy?
I don't know about that.
So do you think the episode can convince the?
I don't know.
Make a difference within the
maybe
the PhD chemistry.
I don't know. Maybe some of the audiences are convinced, and some of them are angry right now. But I don't care.
You don't care?
I just vented. Yeah.
You just wanna.
Yeah.
Make it some.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please write a comment.
Yeah.
Click the thumbs up button. Subscribe to our channel. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, this is Weekly Bullshit Podcast.
This is Weekly Bullshit Podcast. Thank you.